Got quite a challenge going on at the moment. What I'm trying to do is get every achievement, every Steam achievement on one map, and that means that we have to use a small mountainous map. And I kind of tested it to destruction because at the moment this population, the size of map that we have with the restrictions that are on us, we can't support more than about 100 people. And I grew the village to 200, and we had a big die-off through starvation. So I did a managed decline, but that caused a population boom. So I've had to have a rethink about the strategy. How exactly do we get all of the Steam achievements? And I've come up with a cunning plan. So what we're going to do is stabilise the population at around about 100. Now that is gonna, it's gonna cause these sorts of issues, because to create a decline means that it's going to take a while for the village to rebalance. So at the moment we've got too many children for the adults to look after, so we're going to get some starvation. Because of the issues that we are recovering from, we've got problems with fuel, but a lot of this will slowly start to sort itself out, and the situation will get slightly better. Like we can see now, we've got the medicine starting to recover. As long as we don't run out of tools, that's my big worry, is the tools. Everything else is fine, little bits of starvation's fine, that'll all sort itself out over time. And what I want to do is get it to the point where we've got a stable population of should be around about the 100 mark, but it'll be less children and more adults. And once we've got it there, what we should see is a growth in food, and in fact a growth in everything, because at that point they'll be able to maintain themselves, and they'll be able to grow all of the resources. So I think we've still got some houses with no food in. But I think we're at the point now where there's just a few houses with no food. And it looks like they've all got fuel now. Oh, there's one or two. Yeah, so things are recovering. So once we've got to a stable point, then we'll be able to hold it, and I'll just stick it on fast, and we'll manage any sort of diseases that come along or any crises that happen. And we'll build up the reserves, because there's a few things which are causing us big problems. One is that this is an uneducated population. There's not a single school. We can't have a school until we've got the uneducated achievement. The other thing that's holding us back is we can't have any farms. We can't have a trader. All of these things are Steam achievements. So until we get those Steam achievements, we can't introduce those things. So we're in a sort of chicken and egg situation where we can't have a school until we can build a population of 300 people. But we can't have a population of 300 people unless they're educated. So that means that we need to have an unsustainable period. So we need to be able to grow very rapidly to a population of 300, get the achievement, and then die back again. So to do that, what we're going to have to do is build up a massive food reserve, and not just 300, we want to grow to 400, and we want to do it very rapidly, because we don't need to hold that position, we just need to get there. So once this town has sorted itself out, and what I need to know is, say, tools are the problem, because if we run out of tools, then things become a lot more difficult, and the tools are still dropping, and I'm not quite sure why that is. Oh look, yeah, so now we're out of tools. Now this is going to get difficult. Once one runs out of tools, lots of them will run out of tools. And this is going to be a tricky one to recover from. Let's see what happens as the population balances out a little. What do we have in storage? So we've got plenty enough blacksmiths and we've got plenty enough miners providing coal, because we're working off the iron reserves at the moment. And we're working off the log reserves as well, so we don't have anybody gathering logs or gathering iron. So we should have plenty enough. Coal gathering to provide for the blacksmith. Let's see, they're heating themselves with a bit of coal going into the houses. Let's just pull back on now we've got miners working without tools, which makes it really difficult for them. So the miners will be less productive than they were before, though I don't really think that's the problem. But without tools, our villagers are going to be less productive than they were before. So that house is actually just empty. It's a shame there's no way of keeping it empty. I can't sort of put it out of action without destroying it, and I don't want to destroy it. Let's see who we've got, because I do want to make sure that we keep a viable population. Yeah, we're okay. We've still got breeding population. Just see how this plays out. We could do, and it's probably going to be a good idea actually in the short term, even though I don't like doing it, is we can switch to iron tools. Should have thought of this before actually, because they can make iron tools. At least if we can get everybody equipped. But it'll just take a little bit of time for the baby boomer era to sort itself out, and for the age spread to become more level. Okay, what I'm going to do is put somebody on as a herbalist. See if we can increase the health of the population a little. If we increase the health of the population, they'll live a little longer, and that'll just help to again balance up the age profile of the village. Still a bit puzzled about the situation with the coal. We've got plenty of labourers. We've got miners that are turning out more coal than is being stockpiled at the moment, so they're, and yet we've got unheated houses. So what exactly are they doing with all the coal? just get a couple more on mining. See if increasing the number of miners increases the amount of coal. So we've got everybody's tooled up again now. I'm going to let their tool reserves just grow a little with iron tools, and then we'll then we'll have a look at making that steel tools again. Steel tools are just so much better, but I need to know that we've got coal in reserve before we do that. So I think as the population, as our children grow and become adults, we'll put them down the mines for the moment. At some point soon we're going to have to start getting some foresters back, because the forests are starting to thin out now. We had some good healthy thick forests, which meant that and a good log supply, so we could do without the foresters for a while, but yeah, over time the forests begin to thin. Gatherer ate some poison berries. You idiot. Alright, and what's going on over here? Are these houses still unheated? Okay, so they've got some, they have some coal, and we're starting to see, wow, look how much leather. Alright, we're going to put somebody onto tailoring, because we've got such a lot of leather, we might as well be providing clothes for them. That's one way in which we can make them more efficient. So they got firewood. Firewood. See how much coal these people are actually outputting. 36, 30. Yeah, it's not a huge amount. But we're starting to see the coal supplies now. Good, good. That's good to see. Okay, are all the houses heated? Let's check that. Oh no, we've still got one. It's actually quite nice to see a message that says the reserve of food is low, because we've had such low food that it's been below the trigger to warn us of a low food reserve. It's been below that trigger for so long, it's only just got high enough to be able to fall below the trigger, if that makes sense. Let's see how the population's doing. Yeah, it's looking a bit more balanced now. We're definitely stabilising somewhat.